There are a lot of bad people out there, and you really have to go. If you have a problem with someone, you have to go after them. And it's not necessarily to teach that person a lesson. It's to teach all of the people that are watching a lesson, that you don't take crap. And if you take crap, you're just not going to do well. So be smart, be sharp. It's all about this. You have to have this to start off with. But you can't take a lot of nonsense from people. You have to go after them. I've always believed it.
You know, when people ask me about success, I've just started thinking about it over the last couple of years because I've seen a lot of it. You have to have an ability to handle pressure because no matter how successful you are, I have many, many friends and enemies, a lot of enemies too, I don't care, but they're smart. I have a lot of enemies, and I've watched people and I've seen it. And people that can handle pressure can be entrepreneurs, can be successful. Now, I have some friends that are really, really smart, but they can't handle pressure, in which case they should work for somebody, do great, and have a good life. There's nothing wrong with it, because I almost think that's an instinctive thing, the ability to handle pressure. Now, one of the things I tell people about pressure is, you know what, they said, how do you handle pressure? Who's had more pressure than me? Have I had pressure over the years? And, you know, I mean, I get criticized in my hair, but it's not so bad, and it's real, it's mine. You know it is my real hair. I mean, I get killed. I had an article recently that was so good. It was such a great article. And then it had one line, but he wears the worst hairpiece I've ever seen. I couldn't show the article to anybody, and it's not even true. But you have to have the ability to handle pressure. And if you can't handle pressure, you have to know that about yourself. You have to know that about yourself. So, handle pressure. If you can't, that's okay. But one of the things I tell people about handling pressure is, remember, because they asked me the question, how do you handle the stress? And you know, somebody actually said, Donald, you're so handsome. Do you believe this? I love this person. You're so handsome. How have you stayed so handsome under all this pressure? And I actually thought of it to myself. You have to remember, it doesn't matter. God matters. Your family matters. It doesn't matter. And if you say it, I have some people, they say, I've got to be successful. I've got to be. They'll never be successful. It's too crazy. They can't think straight. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you that was going crazy, standing up about your success, right? So, you've got to handle it. Now he's a little bit more low-key. That's very good. I like that. We've calmed him down. So you've got to be able to sort of say to yourself, nothing matters that much other than the real big deals with family, with your faith, etc. Okay.
In your book, The Art of the Deal, you said that money really isn't that important. It's just a means of keeping score. It's playing the game that excites you.
I love the game. I like the money, and the money is certainly a method of keeping score. But I don't do things for money. I do things because I enjoy doing them. That really sometimes can translate into more money than you would have made if you went just after the money.
This finger, a lot of that is all in the details. You've got to be into the details, because if you're not, they'll come back to haunt you. So oftentimes, you know, life is in the details. Well, business also is in the details. You have to be very careful. You have to watch the dotted I's, because you can really lose tremendously if you don't watch those details.
Experience. One of the things people talk about is luck. And I do believe that people are lucky, and some people are luckier than others. I do believe that. But there's also an expression, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I can tell you 10 instances where I didn't quit when it was 1990, the world was coming down, the debt markets were, everybody, all of my friends and enemies were going bankrupt. I never did. And the times were actually just terrible. And even today, you look at times and you see what happens, and you have to learn. But the word luck is very interesting. But if I didn't work really hard, I probably would not, almost definitely would not be here today. And unless you had me up as a man who at one point was successful, but let's see what a loser looks like. So you have to work hard, because it is true, you can develop luck through hard work.
You got to knock this building down fast, right? Fast, okay?
Oh, quickly.
How long?
February, I believe.
Or sooner, right?
Or sooner.
People settle for mediocrity for one reason. They're lazy. I've seen it so often. People go into something, they don't want to go that extra step. They know it's not going to be great. It might be good, it might be okay. It's not going to be great. They settle for mediocrity. They're lazy.
Great job, man. He's done that before, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He wanted me to do that, right?
Oftentimes you'll have an idea and you'll fall in love with it, and then it turns out to be not such a good idea and you can't get rid of it.
Can you give us a good deal? How about we make a deal now at, on a gross basis, $20 a foot? Yeah. Huh?
Just, I can't.
When the idea turns out bad, cut it out of your mind, get rid of it, go on to the next thing, and let it be better.
Okay, if you can't make a deal, finish it up with IBM, right?
Going against the tide is great if it works. Now, it doesn't always work, and you really have to be smart to go against the tide, because you're going against a lot of smart people. But when you get it right, you'll end up better, whether it's Microsoft or Google. I mean, so many people that have really hit big have gone against the tide. But you have to have great confidence in yourself. You have to be the right person. There are very few people that can pull it off, but when you pull it off, it's great. Same thing in real estate. You go against the tide. People are selling, you're buying, the tide changes. And by the way, in real estate, this is a great time to start thinking about going against the tide.
I've seen people go 48 hours and even more, days and days without any sleep in order to get a deal done. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to love what you do. Number two, you can never give up. You can never quit. And if you don't have the physical or mental stamina to do it, guess what? You better be doing something else. You can never, ever quit.
I've always believed in positive thinking. At the same time, I don't want to mislead. I also believe in aspiring, in terms of what you're doing, aspiring to protect against the downside. You can't just be this wonderful guy walking around, everything's positive, because unfortunately, that's not the way the world is. I love to tell people to think about the challenges so that when they do come along, you're ready.